next item is 16. Wayne Clark is the officer.
Might as
The
well
customer
stay
is
there.
Denise DeJeaton, CEGMP 2018-00462, item 16.
Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance. This case has already been heard by Special Magistrate Reyes, am I right? Negative. Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance. The property was posted April 21st, 2019. No complaints, no call from the owner. The owner says she's not gonna take care of it. She's not gonna do nothing, and she hasn't. So,
You said it was posted when for this hearing?
April 21st.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation still exists. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. The daily fine amount is hereby ratified.
The next two cases are 17 and 18. Ecoland Group, John Dorville is the officer. The first case is CEFAW 2018-00364, and the second case is 00365.
Good evening, John Dorville, City North Miami Code Compliance Office. My last two cases. If the special magistrate doesn't mind, I would like to actually discuss them both at the same time. It's basically the same violation. This actually has been adjudicated already. It is just looking, they did not abate the fence of this property not being repaired. This is both 530 Northeast 141st and 540, same ownership, right next to each other. Would you like to see the pictures?
Sure. You too, sir. One case? Only had one case? Oh, two, that's right.
It was adjudicated for $250 per day on both properties.
Okay. I'm sorry, what did you say about notice? Today's hearing?
Absolutely. Notice was provided at 4/10/2019 at 10:54 respectively.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation still exists. Find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. The daily fine amount of $250 is hereby ratified, and that's in both cases.
The next two cases are 20 and 21 for Shanna Sanders. The customer is Fernando Acosta. The first case is CESTA 2019-00002, and the second case is CESTR 2019-00002. Items 20 and 21.
Thank you.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami, Co-Compliance Officer. I guess we'll start with the short-term advertisement case. This was actually brought to me by a complainant. It was originally cited March 14, 2019, where they sent me the link to the advertisement showing that it was did at the short-term rental. Went back, looked at the property on March 28th, looked at the website. The advertisement was still there. Long story short, looked a couple of times. As of today, the advertisement still appears to be being posted. When I first originally cited it was on homeaway.com, but now I see that I kind of did a search and I see that now it's also on VRBO and on Airbnb. The property owner is stating that, you know, he's not renting and he's unaware of the advertisement or anything, you know, but again, as of today, when I looked, the advertisement is still being posted.
All right. And, okay, we're gonna handle one at a time.
Yeah, they could kind of link up together. But this one is for the advertisement,
I
the
got it.
short-term rental, the STR 2019-00002. Upon receiving that same complaint, I went to visit the property on that same day, March 14th, whereas I knocked on the door. A gentleman by the name of Abraham answered. He identified himself as the tenant, as the renter of the property. He thought that I was there in reference to some music. He said that he would turn it down, but again, he did identify himself as the renter of the property. I then made contact with the property owner, who stated that was his nephew, and that it was his friends staying there. But again, the gentleman identified himself as the renter. He said, "I'm just here for the weekend. You know, I don't want no heat. You know, I'll do whatever you need me to do." But again, it was rented at that time. I went back and re-inspected the property on another date, saw another vehicle parked in the front of the property, knocked on the door. You know, definitely I could hear the music inside, but no one answered. Looked on the website, it was still being posted. So, you know, I can only be led to believe that it was still being rented. The city is asking, and I'm gonna apologize because I'm not, too good with the verbiage on it. You know, with short-term rentals, we are asking for the highest fine to be assessed. I believe it's 15,000 when it comes in reference to these advertisements. They're not allowed, period. And then the rentals are only allowed 4 times a year for no less than 90 days. Of course, when you look on this website, it's showing 3 days, it's showing 2 days. It's definitely under the 90 days that the code requires. So we are asking for the highest fine to be, assessed if possible.
On CESTA 20190002, I find that the violation does exist. Actually, send up a copy of the advertisement for me, please.
For the advertisement. I quickly looked. That's the one for VRBO. That's the one that I last saw. And then there's another one for Home Away that they're also listing it as. As you see, not just with me, as you can see, even the chain of emails. I don't want to put anyone's emails, out there or any names, but as you can see, even the property owners in the surrounding areas of this townhouse are even sending me the links, whereas this is being posted at. And as you see, if you're looking, the photos depict exactly what the house looks like. Upon my visit, it's identical to what the photos on the website looks like. It doesn't have an address, but it's definitely that same house.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice to owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owners have until May 29th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount. What's the maximum amount? 15,000. 15
Well, yes,
per-
that's
per
what she's
day?
saying. Yeah, she's saying 15,000 for the,
Total or 15,000 per day?
Code enforcement
Flat
officer
fee.
Perez.
Oh.
So the way we're structuring these cases, we're pursuing them as an irreversible or replaceable.
Okay.
So we're
Ir-
irreparable. My apologies.
Okay.
So we're seeking out a one-time fee of 15,000
Okay.
per occurrence.
I was about to say.
yes.
All right. So, you only talked about this one time of the date of 3/14, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so for this one, this is an adjudication and 15,000 one-time fee for this occurrence for the 3/14, correct?
That's correct. For the advertisement and for the actual rental, yes.
Okay. And also entering an adjudication for, the rental, but that 15,000 still applies for both. Is that my understanding? Because it's not 15,000 each. It's a combination.
It's for
the
each.
advertisement.
Because there's two separate violations. It's a violation, period, for advertisement. The city doesn't allow advertising, period. So that's one violation. But then for the actual rental is a second violation.
I'm not gonna enter a $30,000 order.
And I mean, you have that, you know.
So I'm gonna do the
That's understandable.
15,000. It's one date. I'm gonna do the $15,000 adjudication both, but the $15,000 total for the two cases. Okay? There's a party going on and, you know,
That's fine.
can't hear myself speak. All right.
The only issue with that is that when I do the orders, they have to have the permit number on them. So I won't
Okay,
be able
so
to
how do you
send
want-
separate notices
For-
for each one totaling 50.
Okay,
So
so
you
how
wanna-
about, the adjudication and 15,000 on 0002? Oh, they're both 00.
Okay, how-
CESTA 20190002, that's the maximum, per occurrence, that's the 1,500. And then
15,000.
15,000, I'm sorry. You were gonna say something?
15,000. I was gonna say, if possible, that, you know, and Pilar, you chime in if it's best. You know, maybe even, you know, if we do, let's say with the short-term advertisement, if we do 10, and then maybe for the rental, we do 5. If your final outcome is to make sure that it's a collective 15, you know, maybe you can just, you know, divide up that 15, however you wanna do it.
How is it
but
gonna be,
would that suffice, Pilar?
for the clerk?
You know, do
Is the
one
clerk-
10 and one
No,
5?
that's fine. I just can't do two orders that are
Understood.
separate with one. So
You
you
know.
can do
Okay.
7,500 on each to make it to 15, or however you choose.
Okay, let's do adjudication 10,000 on CESTA, and let's do 5,000 on CESTR.
Okay.
Honey, I don't know.
So can we do the 15,000 on the rental, and then we already have an abatement date of May 29th on the advertisement? That could be like a daily fee that Your Honor wants to impose until that advertisement is gone, pretty much? Because what we're
That sounds
concerned-
great. Mm-hmm.
What we're concerned with really is the rental. The advertisement can be a daily rate if they don't abate by the May 29th date that Your Honor imposed.
And they can always take that off and on at any time with those advertisements. They play around with those
Okay,
websites.
so in other words, you're telling me do an adjudication and 15,000 on CESTR,
Correct.
and then do a adjudication and 1,000 per day for CESTA
That's fine.
with an
That-
abatement
yes.
date of May 29th, 2019. That works.
That works, yes.
Okay, you got it, Pilar?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Back here in my ear. He was saying the same thing, to switch it around and do the rental.
Okay.
Yes.
The next item is item number 2756 Northeast 126 LLC. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. Case number MHVIO 2019-00128. Item number 2.
I'm
That's
sorry, I didn't hear item number.
2.
Ernst Baptist, City of Miami Code Enforcement
I think
Officer.
they forgot we're working here.
This is a case that was open for the maintenance of the stairs that is filled with mildew that needed to be pressure cleaned and paint. Posted the property on April 12, 2019 at 10:10 a.m. Made contact with the manager, explained to him the violation, took picture on the 12th of April. Stairs still look the same.
Okay. Just a second, guys. It's working now, thank you. Okay. And, notice,
April 12, 2019.
okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice. Owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until May 29th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine of, is this pressure clean? That'd make $350.
The next case is item number 10, Claudette Joseph. Jose Perez is the officer, case number CEGMP 2018-00047, item number 10.
There are two cases for this one.
The second case is item 11, CEGMP 2018-00448.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez did a hearing the case in reference to the property at 12655 Northwest 4th Avenue. This was previously adjudicated with an abatement date of April 24th. As of my final reinspection on April 24th, there was no compliance. The property was posted on April 12th, 2019 at 2:30 p.m. and it was sent certified mail. That's for the 4-7. For the 4-8, it was also adjudicated and found guilty with an abatement date of the 24th. It was also certified, mailed, and posted on April 12th at 2:30 p.m. And no compliance has been made on either or.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation still exists. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby, the daily fine amount of $300, and that's in each case, is ratified.
The next item is 24, Fronti Jean. Edmy St. Louis is the officer, case number CESTR 2019-00001, item 24.
Good evening, Code Officer St. Louis. This violation came through management. It was initially opened on March 13th, 2019. The inspection date was March 25th. Upon investigating on the property, which was March 13, I made contact with this gentleman named Khalid, who then confirmed that he was renting from March 12th to March 14th, which would have been his last day renting. And when I returned back on the property on March 28th, while posting for the notice to appear, I also made contact with another gentleman. His name was Egard. He also stated that he was a close friend of the property and he was renting as well for short term. Property posted on April 12th. And I have the pictures of Khalid's car when he was there, which the tag plate indicate Maryland. And also the chain link email of when I received the complaint.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city. Intern adjudication.
Magistrate, the city's also seeking for the 15,000 cost
All
for
right.
this violation.
Okay, adjudication, 15,000.
The next item is 28. Edme St. Louis is the officer. Jason Smith, CEEXP 2019-00072, and also item 29, CEWWC 2019-00038.
Good evening, Code Officer St. Louis. The first one is for exterior painting of the property. It's discolored. It's a white painted property that needs to be painted over. And as far as for the second one, they have two windows that are boarded up, which falls under the weather-tight condition violation that needs to be taken care of. Both property were posted on April 9th. Made no contact with the property owner, and I have pictures for both of them.
Okay, one is for the plywood,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is for the
Exterior painting.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owner has until May 29th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of 200 on CEEXP 2019-00072, and on CEWWC 2019-00038, $100.
The next case is number 30, Jeffrey Pearson. Edme St. Louis is the officer. Case number CEEXP 2019-00075.
Good evening, Code Officer St. Louis. This violation is also for exterior painting of the mildew stain that's on the clam shutters, as well as the lower bottom part of the property where the mini garden is. Property posted on April 12th, 2019. No one reached out to me, and I have pictures.
Pressure cleaner, mildew, and clam shutters, okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. Also find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owners have until May 29th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $200.
The next item is item 31, Maria Lopez. Edme St. Louis is the officer. The case number CEEXP 2019-00061, item 37, I apologize.
Code Officer St. Louis, this property is also for exterior painting. For this one, I'm gonna ask for it to be tabled 1 month, cause the property owner finally decided to reach out to me last minute, and I'm willing to give them time to.
All right,
Get it done.
tabled for 30 days.
Thank you.
Next item 41, Rashid Tahir. Ernest Baptiste is the officer. The case number CEEXP 2019-00064, item 41.
Ernst Baptiste, City North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for the exterior paint that is fading, and also part of it is wasting, mildew, need to be painted. Property was posted on April 12, 2019 at 1:50 p.m. Posted the property and spoke to the owner. Actually, stated that he was on vacation, that he will need more time. So tabling it for 30 days.
Okay. All right, table 30 days.
The next item is 43, Ernst Baptiste is the officer,
You want this
Regina Vlasic, case number CEWWC 2018-00156, item 43.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. Case that was open for the roof that needed to be repaired. Sub-fit deteriorating. Posted the property on April 12, 2019 at 2:50 p.m. Took picture. Property in the same state, no repaired.
I was on the wrong page. Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until May 29th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of
How much?
that's the roof, right? Yeah. Remove blue top. $500.
The next two cases are 46 and 47, Seymour Jamvier. Jose Perez is the officer, case number CEFAW 2019-00004 and CESOD 2019-00002.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 12625 Northwest 2nd Avenue, in reference to sodding in the property, and reference to the fence in front of the property. Both cases were found guilty with an abatement date of April 24th. As of April 24th, no compliance was made. Both properties were sent certified mail, and both properties were posted on April 12th at 2:30 p.m.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, do you have any photograph?
From when they were previously adjudicated.
From the abatement date?
From the abatement date,
Of
like I
24.
said previously, my city cell phone was having issues. I believe those photos were erased.
All right, so you were there on the 24th, that's your testimony, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and based on your testimony that it's in the same condition as it was?
correct, yes.
Okay. And that applies to both cases?
Both cases.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation still exists. I also find good notice. Given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. The daily fine amount of $250 is hereby ratified, and that's on both cases.
The last case on the agenda is 51, Timothy Randolph. Jose Perez is the officer, the case number CEGMP 2018-00449, item 51.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to 505 Opalaca Boulevard, in reference to the general maintenance of properties. This case was adjudicated with an abatement date set for April 24th, 2019. As of April 24th, 2019, compliance was not met. The property was posted on April 12th, 2019 at 3:18 p.m. and was also sent certified mail. As of April 24th, compliance was not made. However, I did receive an email today from the property owner showing compliance. So I would like to ratify the fine from the 24th to today.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation did exist. And the 250, I'm sorry, I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. The $250 fine is ratified, retroactive from to, what
The
is it?
24th until
The
today.
24th to the present, got it,
Correct.
okay.
And those are all the items on the agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're adjourned? Thank you, guys. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.